This is from Christina at Chibi UFO. For both Pat and Ian, what are your top 5 Jaleco games?
Let's go with just what they've developed, not what they've published.
I need a list. Whenever people ask me, because my brain is worked out, I need a list in front of me. It's
Bases Loaded is developed, or is published by. So I don't know about 5, but I think I can do 3 off the top of my head.
Bump them.
Let's go. That one was developed by them. Let's go backwards. Estaniacs is one that over time
that's a Jaleco game.
Yeah,
See, that's
I've really grown to like that game. It's got a lot of legendary acts in it, but
you know what? I'm gonna open my NES list right now. We're talking, so I get the Jaleco games up.
I like the big sprites. I like the cutscenes. The game is fun. It's a bit unforgiving with the one-hit kills, but anyways, it's a good title. 2 would be Pinball Quest, because I freaking love pinball. It's got a pinball RPG. In the pinball RPG, the little pinball main character gets roughed up by pinball bad guys, and you go through like 5 screens to save the pinball princess. It also has standalone pinball tables that aren't super great, but have like really cool animations of a golfer putting the pinball up the shooter lane.
We gotta play it during the marathon this year. Then we gotta play that.
It's fun. And then my number 1 favorite Jaleco game of all time is City Connection. I freaking adore that game.
Ooh.
It's just so perfect.
We're not talking Super Nintendo. We're talking Nintendo, right?
Well, I think you could do whatever, but I'm the ones off the top of my head would be all Nintendo. City Connection's my absolute favorite.
Oh God.
The changing backgrounds, the changing music, those freaking stupid cats. It's great.
So cute.
Yeah.
It's so tough to play that game.
I love it.
Did they stop publishing after? They didn't have any N64, right? Just Super Nintendo they stopped, right?
No, they did a cell phone sequel to City Connection sometime in the mid 2000s.
Really?
And they haven't done much. They don't exist anymore.
So basically, if you're looking on the NES, this is the games they published. What they developed, I don't care about right now because I'm not going to get into that. But 27 games they had. 26. 25 games. 24. 23. Because I have double for boxes here in my inventory. 23 games.
Just pick a couple.
Alright, I love Rocket Attack, which is the best.
I knew you were going to pick that one.
Rocket Attack is why are you laughing? It is the best, not to give Jimmy Connors no credit, or the Wendell dual play tennis, top player tennis game, whatever.
I'm just laughing because it was such an obvious choice.
Rocket Attack is so fun, so fluid. It's the best tennis game for me on the system in terms of the graphics. You can argue with the ref, which I never figured out how the hell you do it. But the 3 times that has happened, it's the funniest thing where you're like, big sprite, no. But sometimes they overturn the call. But again, in what the thing we're working on, I actually mentioned that it's so rare and random that it happens. But anyway, Pro Sport Hockey is one of the rarer NES games.
Yeah, I know you really like that one.
It's the rarest sports game.
That's Jaleco?
Yeah, and it's basically, it looks like it came out in like 93. It was on Super Nintendo as well. And it's the best in terms of, I love Legends, I love ice hockey. But Pro Sport Hockey is, the other hockey game, and it's a top down like the NHL game. So it has the real players.
Yeah.
So it's a nice round that how you have like an arcade game, a goofy game, and the simulator.
So far 2 sports games. What's your number 1?
Is it okay? All right, okay. I like City Connection 2, man. I was new, but Rampart. It's an Atari game, but they published it. Rampart.
Oh, that's fair.
Rules.
Yeah, I should have known you would have picked that.
And you know what? The original Bases Loaded, the Bases Loaded are great games.
No, they're not.
I like that. Okay, they're not. I like them. I like Bases Loaded games. Now, I'm not sure which one I like the best, because I can't tell the difference between 4 is the one that's really messed up, and 3 is the Ryan Sandberg one, which was I had in Super Nintendo, which didn't have a season. You had to play the perfect game, which was awful. And after I bought it, I realized that there was no season mode in it for Super Nintendo. That's why I don't like the Super Nintendo that much, because as a kid I had awful games for it. Okay. Not that I don't like it that much, but I mean, you know what I mean. I don't go and play it. I'll play this because I had terrible games for it, and I played the PC instead. Okay, that was that question. Thank you for the question, Christina. Next question, back to Twitter. What do you think about the industry? We said that.
Boom, we answered your question in long form.
This is a question from at Lord Waldemart. Did James really destroy both NWC carts in AVG episode 103?
Obviously.
Or was this fake? Oh, of
we
course.
burned a lot of money.
We destroyed them.
Yeah, we
okay,
burned a lot of money afterwards. I was there.
This isn't a question, this is a comment. Senator Ted Cruz's filibuster. It's a political question. That was from Miguel Castro. That's his name on here. This is from @BeardedGamer93. What are your options, I guess opinions, about gaming consoles becoming more than just gaming consoles with TV integration and motion controls? I think those are two separate questions. I think the motion controls is just an extension, obviously, because Nintendo revolutionized the controlling with the Wii. But about them becoming more than gaming consoles with TV integration, I think it's a logical progression, just because at this point everything is getting jumbled. There's people nowadays. A lot of people don't even have cable anymore. They just have Netflix.
I don't. I haven't had cable in I don't know how to use a cable box anymore. I'm 80 years old in that way. I have no idea.
Click the cable box.
My roommate, 2 roommates ago, I before my girlfriend moved in, when the rare occasion we would watch something that was recorded on the DVR, I'd hand him the remotes and say, "Do this," because I don't know how. I don't think this is something that you can have strong opinions on. I like the fact that I have kind of an all-in-one center. Like, I can jump from, say, a game of Diablo 3 to watching an episode of... Well, let's not talk about the TV I watch.
My Little Pony.
I do, yeah, My Little Pony, Adventure Time, regular show, and Ultraman. All grade A material.
Ultraman. I mean, I love Power Rangers, but Ultraman.
Ultraman's good shit. I watch Power Rangers, too. Anyway,
20th anniversary.
I think when he's talking about the motion controls, I think he's talking more like Kinect style stuff, like, the future is here, and you're moving your hands and all that. It's all nice and good. I can't imagine people would feel negative. The only concern I have is if consoles continue to be manufactured as poorly as they are now, by turning your game console into an all-in-one unit, you're greatly reducing the lifespan of that unit.
Oh, you're saying just physically how they're put together?
Yeah, they're put together like crap, so the more you use it for all things, the less time it's going to last on your shelf. That's my big negative.
Okay, next question. Thanks for the question. We're going to go to the next question here. We're going to go to... this is Robin at Hadhaw. This is for you. You know more about this than me. What do you think about Steam machines and Steam OS? And what do you think the third product is, I guess, that they're trying to announce?
So the third symbol.
Yeah.
All right. I think this is interesting, and I also will admit that at the moment I'm a bit underinformed on it. I think the Steam box running Steam OS, I'm very interested in. Steam OS is basically just Steam's own Linux distribution.
It runs on Steam, actually. Steam powered. People know that.
Yeah. little hamsters with goggles and clocks sewn into their fur for a steampunk convention. Anyways, so SteamOS is basically a Linux distribution that Valve is making that's optimized to run games. I think this is a fairly decent idea for the Steam box, at least. They're stating that there's going to be 200 games at launch for the Steam box, including OS titles. The fact that it's Linux, I think, will make a lot of, and I mean this in a good way, dorks happy. They're promising streaming for other games that they have that won't run natively on Linux right away. So I think a lot of it's going to have to depend on how well the streaming works. What Valve is trying to do here, I think, is they're trying to skirt Windows. With Windows 8 now has basically a store that's similar to Steam where you can buy games.
Oh, really?
Which is now threatening Steam. So what Steam needs to do is kind of carve out their own niche. So if they can get this OS optimized to run games well and entice developers to put games on it, basically by saying, look, more people will be able to play your game because they can do it on a system that's not as powerful, that could make developers more money. I don't know. I think a lot of it's up in the air. I think as a set-top box, though, I'm intrigued. I think for the broader public, it will be more interesting than something like the Vita TV. Yeah. As far as what I think the third symbol is, after reading a bunch of theories, and we'll all know on the 27th, I don't think it's Halo. I don't think it's Half-Life 3. I think our buddy Dan, his opinion, he believes it's going to be heavy Oculus Rift integration. And if you look at the bottom of the last line on the Steam box announcement page, they talk about how you're going to be able to interact with it in very interesting and clever ways. To me, that's going to be the Oculus Rift, the VR headset that is affordable to people.
Really going to finally do that?
I think what they might
was that the one that did the Kickstarter?
yes, and it did extremely well. And what
that's the one where you actually can like use the hand thing and like.
And what I think they might do, because the thing about the Steam box is you can build your own Steam box, you can buy a Steam box. Any number of people can make a Steam box. Not just Valve is making it. It's basically open. Mm-hmm. What I think they're going to do is I think that if that turns out to be the third symbol, the Oculus Rift, you are going to see a bundle where you can get an Oculus Rift for fairly cheap with a Steam box.
What are they going to cost, you think, when they come out?
I think they're estimating $300, but even the Oculus Rift guys have said if we can package this with a console, if we can subsidize this somehow, we'd love to be able to get this into hands for as little as free. And they're like, now obviously,
are a lot of games going to support that though?
They're starting to. I think and I don't think this is going to happen, but I think the killing blow here would be if on the 27th they announce Half-Life 3 with Oculus Rift support and a package.
They're gonna. Why are they making Half-Life 3? Unless they
because Valve can't count to 3.
That's true.
That's the internet.
Even though it'll make a shitload of money. All right, and people want to wrap up the story. You know. Next question. This is from at Jace Nakarato. Nakarato. Hey Pat and Ian, what are your top 5 handheld games and why? Game Boy game. I guess he means systems.
No,
no, it means actual games.
This
is gonna be tough for me because I was never the biggest handheld guy, but you can go.
All right, it'll be tough to shut me up on this one. I think my honest number 1 is Kirby's Dream Land. My honest number 2, Kirby's Pinball Land.
Don't give me your dishonest answer.
My dishonest answer.
I should have had the Zippos.
Japanese slot machine games that are sitting.
I should have had the Zippo Game Boys by spinning so I can like look at some. Okay.
And then Match of the Millennium for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Gale's Fighter for the Neo Geo Pocket Color. And not gonna lie, it hasn't been out for a ton of time right now, but Animal Crossing New Leaf is something I look forward to basically every day.
I gotta take my Game Boy Advance SP-101 and play some of these damn games.
Game Boy Advance. Let's throw a 6 in there. Metroid Zero Mission. Love that one.
Which is the one?
You can't shut me up on handheld games.
You know what? I do have some because I have my R4 real memory thing on my DS.
You're a piece of shit. Answer the question and move on.
Civilization, the one that was on the DS.
Oh, Civ Rev on the DS is good, yeah.
Because it's a lot quicker. It's Civilization. It's a simpler version.
But it's not really dumbed down.
Civ, I think it's a simple version of Civ 4.
4, yeah.
And it's a good game. You can play a game in like 2 hours instead of like 8.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Because there's less. There's only 5 nations instead of like 9 or whatever. It was fun. I love Brain Age. I used to play Brain Age like every day when I first got my DS. I got my DS in like 2000. DS Lite in like were they out in 2009 or 2008? DS Lites.
8.
That's
not earlier, actually.
I got it when it was out a year. It was when they were out a year, but they were still like hard to get.
I think it came out in like 06 or 07 with Lite, but whatever.
Okay, so I got mine 2008, 2009, and I got the memory card, and I played those 2 games a lot. Brain Age I played a lot. Brain Age is a fun game. I just remember playing like the Stroop test and the reading test. And
the Stroop test is cool. The problem with the Stroop test was the voice recognition didn't work well enough to give you accurate.
It was alright. It was some words you had to be
blue.
Clear. Yeah,
blue.
You had to be clear on.
Yeah,
that was a fun game. All right, and then I have to play. You know what? If I got a bunch. I had like 30 Lynx games. That's an Atari system. I love the Atari arcade games. Rampart I got. Paperboy. Once I play those, they'll all be my favorites.
Oh God, Jesus, people! Castlevania, Castlevania Adventure 2: Belmont's Quest is fantastic.
You know what? No, which was the one on Game Boy Advance? Castlevania game where you had the white hair. That was fun.
Aria of Sorrow.
It was like you every time you hit one. That was fun.
Yeah, that's good.
I got stuck on it, but it was fun. I couldn't figure out where to go, but that was cool. You actually draw the thing to seal the.
Oh, that's Dawn of Sorrow.
Okay, whatever.
If you draw, that's a DS. You don't draw on a Game Boy Advance. Maybe you do, but that means you should see a doctor.
I played it for like an hour once and it was fun.
Next question.
All right. This is from Game Mana. Ian, would Rob Schneider save the Dread franchise?
Shut up.
Okay. At M Geiger 2341. What are your thoughts on reproduction cards? I think they're good for people who can't afford rare ones. That's a touchy subject, just because I in my Flintstones review I did say, even though it was a story, to emulate Flintstones, and I think I would recommend instead of spending $800 for people manipulating the market to just emulate a Flintstones card. But that's different. Getting a power pack is a lot different to me than shelling out money to someone for them to make a repro of Little Samson. That to me is wrong. That to me is wrong at that point.
I feel like repro carts,
if they're for stuff that you can't get, like here we go, The Miracle of Almana, which is a game that wasn't released here. Sure, have a ball. I don't care about that.
My feeling on repro carts is basically this: it's if we're talking about stuff that's rare to get that was released in the U.S., it matters on how it's done.
Legend of Zelda Outlands.
If someone is making repro carts and selling them online, I don't know. I feel like if you know someone who can do it,
the pirate booty cart.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with repro carts like that. I don't have an issue with them. I don't have a problem with.
I have a problem. First of all, if it's a rare game, you cannot make it look like the actual.
No, you can't. No, and that's the thing.
Maybe with a blue shell, like my Mr. Gimmick. That was a proto that came out. I have no problem with that. You're not going to be able to find Mr. Gimmick proto.
No, like I had a buddy who made me and I'm not going to mention his name, but I had a buddy who made me a repro cart of a.
Mention his name.
No, of a rare game, and he didn't change the label or anything. He just wrote in blue marker on the game title what it was.
Sure. That's
fine. And if you're throwing a guy a couple of bucks for his time and his effort, or if it's something where they don't care if you make it and sell it, like there's currently like a homebrew shooter where they're like, yeah, go ahead and make carts, or like the Tecmo 2014 stuff.
Sure.
That's different. But if you have to be careful because repro carts can be made. People, for instance, on Super Nintendo, I had customers come in and they were like real shady, and they were looking around for certain carts and they couldn't find them. I could hear them talking about making Earthbound repro carts, and I immediately clammed up and I was like, yeah, I don't really want anything to do with this sale, because they're talking about labels and stuff like that. So
they're looking for games that they can make repros out.
So the way it works is, and like I said, I have a friend who does this, and he's very ethical about it, and he does good work. No, I'm just saying I know how this is done. But what you do is you go out and you look for certain cards that have certain mappers in them. Sure. Because certain games will be it's like a donor organ to a body. You have to have the right cart. Yeah. So these people were in the store looking for the right carts to make like Earthbounds. And
because they couldn't afford to buy them, or they were going to resell them.
I don't know, but the way they were talking, it's sketchy. So I have no problem with the gimmick or the pirate booty. I don't even have a problem with my friend making me a repro card of something that's inobtainable, because I'm not going to sell it for money. It's obviously a repro, and I'm throwing him a little cash for his time. But yes, I have a problem with.
What would you choose? Obscure.
Would
you want it remastered in the first place, or would you want an updated one?
I wouldn't want it remixed or updated like they did with DuckTales. And if it was obscure, I would love to see a really pretty version. And it's already this is the thing. I love really 8-bit graphics, but I wouldn't mind seeing something like Kickle Cubicle or Lolo redone in nice graphics. And I guess maybe not even remastered. Those are games that I would love to see sequels to. They have great graphics. So I mean, that's about it. This is what I learned with the DuckTales thing. I wanted that to happen for the longest time, and now I'm upset it did. You don't
have to play it though.
You don't always want what you wish for. So I'm not actually asking for any more remasters or any more reproductions, although I feel like Lola or Kickle Cubicle could be done very beautifully in high definition sprites.
When you say obscure, I mean Top Secret Episode's not obscure. I want a freaking sequel. Why can't they make a sequel to that? Anyway.
Well, so the thing is, shooters, I hate it when they make old shooters look very high res. They look boring and bland. So I would never want to see a Gun Knack redone.
How about a Guardian Legend remake?
No, I like how that looks.
Yeah.
I guess I would have to say no.
Oh, Rollerblade Racer?
Oh, eat it. But yeah, DuckTales taught me a lesson.
Thunder and Lightning
I don't really want that. Sure, but see, this is the thing where Thunder and Lightning, Lolo, Kickle Cubicle. What I actually want is more levels. I would like a sequel, a good sequel. And that's actually, last week someone asked us a question, and it was, what would you like to see a sequel to? I don't think I gave those answers. There you go. Those are games I'd like to see sequels to.
I want Blackjack remade. That's what I want to update the Blackjack.
Turn on Windows.
There you go.
90-something.
All right, next question.
Oh, this podcast's a real bladderbuster.
Do you think Nintendo can or would make a 3DS player for the Wii U?
No.
I don't think it would. I don't think it would behoove them to do that because the 3DS is already selling a ton. I mean, the thing with the Vita TV is the Vita is really not popular at all. While the 3DS is hugely popular.
The Vita TV will help the Vita. The 3DS does not need any help.
It doesn't.
And that's the problem with the Wii U. The 3D is a gimmick. Let's leave the 3D out of it. The Wii U was Nintendo's attempt to make a sit-down-on-the-couch DS, and it's not attracting people in the way they hoped.
This is from DK Nethitz. Are there any plans for a Pat the NES game starring Ian as the end boss? Not at this point. I mean, who knows in the future? I'm not popular enough for a video game at this point. I'd
make a pretty awful end boss. If you made me wait however many hours for you to show up just so you could fight me,
one shot,
I'd be intoxicated as shit. Yeah, I'd be a one-hit kill.
This is from Lover Guy 86. All right. I'm 27, and after seeing the Xbox One and PS4, I realize I'm getting too old for that shit. How can video games improve? Well, you don't have to go for a main system. You can just play, like I said, indie games, Steam. Don't just because you don't like the new system. There's so many games out there.
Video games don't need to improve. You need, and this is going to sound harsh. You need to look elsewhere. There are plenty of good video games. Just because the PS4 and Xbox One aren't for you. And I think if you were to look a bit deeper into the PS4, you might like some of what you saw. But get a handheld with a lot of good old-school type games on it. Both the 3DS and the Vita can appease you there. Look into these things that are being announced, like the Steam boxes and Vita TVs. Sure. Those will do it for you.
Another one from Game Out, Lana. Does the GTA story make a vast open-world game seem very linear and dull? E.g., cutscene, drive, cutscene, and repeat forever. Yes, and that's what I was saying.
Yes,
it's not really. It's open world in terms of exploration, but it's tough because like the original Privateer, there was a story, but you could go on forever just doing stuff, and you can go on forever in GTA without following the story.
Yeah, it's like I said. We said this last podcast.
Well, then what's the end game though?
Yeah, and this guy he's one of my longer running Twitter friends that I don't know. But that's exactly what I said last week. People always talk about all the stuff you can do in GTA. But there's really only two things you can do: storyline or fuck off. Yeah. And that after a while, that's not a whole lot of options.
Yeah. This is from Demon Owen Garth. Do you prefer to play video games with the music on or off? And do you think new games still need music? Oh, of course you need music in a game. Music is it's art still. I mean, it complements a game so much. You can't play Zelda without music.
I actually find myself wishing that I didn't need the sound on games so much because my other big hobby is music and listening to records. But it's a part of the game. Yeah, I need it. I need it. Something like Diablo 3. And what I love about Diablo 3 is how everything except for the game plays in the background. I can shut all the volume down in Diablo 3 and throw records on. But Persona 4 Golden, which I started playing, is known for having an amazing soundtrack, and it does. I can't turn that soundtrack off. I have to be able to hear
Technically, you can watch any movie without music. But
I can't play DuckTales without the soundtrack.
You can watch The Godfather without music, but it'd be a totally different experience.
No, that's different.
No, it's not. It's the same thing, though. You don't need it.
But the story is still... Yeah, but you need it for the story.
No, you don't. Technically, you don't. You can get it from the dialogue and the
all right, you were making fine points before you brought that up, but still, I understand what he's saying. I know a lot of people who don't ever listen to the music in a game or the dialogue, but I think that's doing a disservice to a lot of people who put a lot of effort into it. And if it's done well, it adds a ton to the game. There are very few games where I actually find myself able to turn the sound off and not feel like I'm missing something.
Sure. The next question is from Duran, who writes on the Pump Effect at Duran0004. What is the worst kind of video game injury possible? For me, it's banging my head on a DDR safety bar. He must have been going hard.
It's not video game related, but I gotta tell you, maintaining and leveling and moving and cleaning a pinball machine has resulted in a number of injuries. Pinched fingers, back problems when leveling it out, all sorts of crap. I don't know that I've ever had a video game related injury. Hunger.
Speaking of that, the next question is from Try and Find Me _ Will Ian be getting a chair upgrade for this year's NES Marathon? I told you,
Pat has told me that I have to go get my own chair upgrade.
You can get those metal folding chairs that are soft.
I have to earn my own chair upgrade.
Hey, I bought you this. I bought you this.
He must be an objectivist.
I bought you the Super Bowl 22. You got this with the game. So, I mean, this is worth money.
that will be comfortable for 22 minutes.
Hey, it still survived.
No, I will not be getting a chair upgrade. Pat hates me.
I don't hate you. I cannot fit that purple chair in the door anymore because of this thing right here. I cannot fit it. I can't. Buy a cushion for that.
I'm gonna get some XL sweatpants, and I'm going to stuff it full of cotton.
There you go. Notice Ian's shirt. This is from at the Chicken Wings. Notice Ian's shirt and would like to know if he has played the recent Miku game that's out, and if so, what are his thoughts? I have no idea what that is.
No, I'd love to, but I just don't have the money for it right now. I like music games, but I should point out that my interest in Vocaloids is from a music production and synthesizer nerd standpoint. I love what they did. I like the software. The fact that they all have interesting, cute, catchy mascots is cool. And yeah, I would like to play the game. I will never see it come through the store used. I doubt so. I should probably go out and buy it soon before it becomes impossible to find.
Handful left here. Another one from Jerron. What do you think about tournaments with huge cash prizes like League of Legends is doing? I don't know much about that. I mean, I guess I don't see a problem.
No, I mean, I think if I'm interpreting the question right, it's cash prizes for competitive gaming, and if someone wants to put up the money for people who play well and there's a market and an audience for it, then go for it. I get no interest in it. I have no interest in it.
I think the tournaments are they're fun to watch, but I'll get in trouble for saying because I used to play competitively somewhat Unreal Tournament, at least for the computer, but I think it's silly how much stock is put into, like, you know, e-athlete, that's a term I can go on about, you know, stuff like that. I just think, but yeah, if there's money, go for it.
Yeah, I think it's silly, but I have no real moral objection to it.
Do whatever you want. This is an open. Oh, I almost want to. This is so open-ended. This is real quick. This is from at EBP. Yeah, opinion on the GameCube. Go, Ian. Real quick in 12 seconds.
The GameCube was fantastic, in my opinion, at the time of its release, and has been basically made what's the word I'm looking for? Pointless as time has gone on. With the exception of the small handful of Nintendo games that are on that system that have not yet, keyword being yet, re-released for other systems, I see no reason for it. When I had it at the time, it was awesome. I love the exclusives on it, but as time has gone on, it's obsolete. It's pointless.
Yeah, because you can play the games in the Wii too. I mean,
yeah,
not Wii U. I mean the Wii 2. Okay. This is from at Ainer Metzler. Do you think the console market will ever come to an end? And if so, why? Yes, I do think it's going to come to an end. I think this is going to be the last generation that's going to be decipherable, where every 5 years a new console. I think that it ran its course.
We're already seeing it with the Steam box basically being buildable on your own. I'm not saying the Steam one will necessarily take off, but with it being buildable on your own, we are already seeing entries this generation of consoles that are almost indistinguishable from PCs. Yeah. By the time that this generation has run its course, yes, I'm sure Microsoft and Sony will find a way to market something as a gaming machine, but it's going to do everything your PC does.
Sure, and PCs have been more powerful than these systems the past few years.
How many more questions we got? My teeth are floating, and I got to work in La Mesa tomorrow.
From Eric Miller, if I pick up a gold sponsor for Marathon, can you promote a Twitter page rather than company website? Oh, of course, that'd be great, Eric. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do Twitters.
We'll do whatever.
Why not?
That's too generic. Thoughts on the Earthbound series? That's too generic for me.
Clever.
There you go. Overrated.
You're pissing people off this week, not me.
What NES game do you? This is from Billy from the Game Chasers. What NES game do you wish you can get a new 8-bit sequel? Top secret episode.
A new 8-bit sequel?
Yeah.
Like, as in, like, made in 8 bits? Yeah. Oh, DuckTales. Absolutely. I want to see DuckTales 3.
Complete the trilogy.
Yeah.
And then the last one.
That's a great question.
And the last one is from Kevin at Cap Chuckles. What is the hardest RPG in the NES that you've played? I haven't played a lot of them, but
they're all pretty difficult.
Is Dragon Warrior tough?
3 is tough. 1 is press A to win. You just level enough and you get there. But 3 can be very difficult. Final Fantasy 1 is not easy. But if you want to get into...
You still gotta take a piss. It's hysterical. You just shake.
Yeah, oh, I got to pee so bad. I am going to ask that question again next week for a better answer so I don't soak my pants in my own urine. I'm sorry. Faria. Faria is really difficult. And
Really?
It's not. It's because some of the puzzles are incredibly fucking obtuse.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Faria would be my answer, I believe.